Okay, good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Today, as you can see, we have an important topic to discuss. Today, we're going to talk about word formation, these amazing processes that exist in formology. For today, we have a special guest. Hi, Miguel Eduardo. How are you today?
Thanks for that, Hugo. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Yes, as I mentioned before, this one is an important topic. Basically, we will um have a little debate about this one, and we will discuss about the compounding words and at the same time the morphology and the etymology for some words. So very happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So, in order to start this amazing this discussion with you, I would like to start by defining what what word formation is, And I would like to tell you that word formation is the process by which new words are created from existing words, or let's say from morphemes in linguistic, so particular morphology. Derivational morphology is another term to use it, by the way. As you know, Miguel, there are different type of word formation, different type of processes that we can use in this amazing language. Those processes are, for example, we have the borrowing, we have, as you said, compounding, we have blending, we also have clipping back information, conversion, etc. But today, as you said before, we are going to be focused especially in compounding process, you know. And for this, uh, I would like to also mention what compounding is. As I said, is part of the word formation is a process, and compounding is a word formation process based on the combination of lexical elements such as noun, adjective, etc. So the element can be characterized as words or lexeme depending on the language and the theoretical framework adopted. So let me tell you, Miguel, that compound words can help build a student confidence spelling long words and improve their vocabulary, of course. Um, in the most exercises, the compound words have one word that is a list of the word. Knowing how to spell part of the compound word helps students to learn the longer and more complex word and builds their confidence, as I said before. But here is when a question arises. There is often a question about compound. Um, the question is when to use the hyphen or just join the words, two words. Let me tell you that dictionaries don't always agree about hyphen, when a hyphen should be used or when a compound word should be formed. And for this, I have an example to show you. As you can see, the adolescent resided in two parent homes, and the other example is using the hyphen. Uh, it would say the for example means that two homes serve as residences. But if we look at the second example using the hyphen, this means that they each will live in a household headed by two parents. So as you can see, a properly placed hyphen helps the reader to understand the intended meaning. So, and I would like to show this example. For example, the word mother-in-law, which is very common in the English language, because not all compound nouns require a hyphen. However, mother-in-law does require hyphenation to avoid ambiguity. With a hyphenation, it could be it could mean that your mother works in the field of law. For example, as you can see in the example, I have a brother in banking and a mother-in-law. If you don't use the hyphen in the word mother-in-law, we can identify, we can understand that probably your mother works in the field of law. That's why, as you can see, the compound words helps to understand more better the word. And let me tell you, Miguel, the compound words that necessitate the use of hyper normally in the attribute position. So we can say that they work as an adjective. We just have to omit the plural suffix, the s at the end. You can see, for example, the 3 years old child. We can say child who is 3 years old. So the word year should be in plural. However, if we are using compound words, we have to omit the suffix s at the end of years. Well-known celebrities, a five-page report, we can say a report that has five pages. So instead of say pages, you omit the suffix s and we say five-page report. Five five-a-side football, a man eating shark. And I would like to be focused on the last example, Miguel, because this really helps to understand about this topic. What
Okay.
about in this case? In this case, man eating works as an adjective, as an attribute. Man eating shark. In this case, we can determine that it's a shark who eat man or who eat humans, shark that eat
Okay.
humans. But what
Yeah.
about if we don't use the hyphen in this expression, man eating shark, we can assume that probably it's a man who is eating a shark. So as you can see,
Yes.
it will literally be interpreted as a man eating a shark. So we can determine and we can say the hyphens help to eliminate the ambiguity, you know.
Uh,
And
it's
I
up to
would
the
like to
context, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
would like to hear or to listen to you about this. What is your point of view? What is your opinion, Miguel?
Yes, as you mentioned before, you're right regarding that one. The context or the way that we are trying to explain something is very important. And as you mentioned before, there are some compounds words that can be hyphen to provide a better understanding of the context. As let's work with the prior example. Men a hyphen eating shark basically is like a dangerous shark,
Yeah,
a savage uh, shark. And the other one can be taken as you mentioned before, a man basically fishing a shark to eat it. So
yeah,
yes, but however, we have some other words that do not need it basically to give the same meaning or the same context. As an example, we have the word house hyphen warming and housewarming as a joint word. The meaning of these words is very simple. Basically, the host present the new house to their friends, and basically it's a party traditional held soon after they moving into the new residence, a new house. The etymology for this one is interesting. Actually, this word comes from the medieval times, the days before central heating. Each guest would bring a firewood and build fires in all the available fireplace. This one was related to the winter. So, offering fireworks as a gift, and in that way, the people um, can get warm together and they can share time together. Um, at the same time, aside from warming the house, this was also believed to repel evil spirits by creating a protective atmosphere of warmth. Uninhabited houses were considered targets for bad spirits basically. So they have the idea that putting a firewood on that house, on that area, they can repel or basically protect that area with the fire. So that is the etymology for this one. um so regarding this one, house warning with a hyphen and housewarming join are semantically related. In some cases, you can replace housewarming with a hyphen with housewarming join. These terms are similar, and using one or the other can be confused for some people for the reason that you mentioned before. Uh, let's work on the same example. The man hyphen eating shark, it's a word or an expression used for a specific context, and the other one, which is man eating shark, between with in a space between them. should be another expression. But in this case, no. In this case, we can use the same word for the same context or the same action, which is to celebrate that someone is getting a new house. So should be either or. That is the best part of English. It's up to the context that we are talking about. So yes, that's all that I have regarding this specific scenario.
Okay, I appreciate that. And actually, I would say that you're right. And because at first sight, if I see this word housewarming, I can determine, I can even imagine that word means or has another meaning. I can assume that probably housewarming refers to like a heater house, something like that. And but
Yes.
actually,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, because actually you mentioned something which is very, very important to know, especially for the ones who is starting a new language, and it's good to know about etymology, as you mentioned, and that's why I would like to show you one more example about this word, backpack. I would like to ask you, Mr. Miguel, have you ever wondered why we say backpack instead of saying backpack or bookpack? Because we usually, when we use a backpack, we are wearing books, a pencil, or
Hmm.
something like that. So
Something that
have you
we
ever
use
wondered
at the
that?
school. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not really. Not really. Being honest with you,
Okay.
not really. So I would like to hear the
Yes,
explanation about it, sir.
that is exactly that very similar as you mentioned before. Sometimes we use the words, well, but we don't have an idea where they come from. And that's why it's necessary to know about etymology. Some expressions are used in different languages. For example, we use some words in English, and as I said, we don't even know where they come from. Sometimes they come from another languages that is borrowing, by the way. But in this way, the word backpack is necessary to understand about the etymology because let me tell you the etymology, as you said, is the origin and history of a word. So the correct term is backpack, no backpack. So or a book pack. This is because carrying something on your back not only means that you can carry weight for longer periods. So it's also crucially that means that your hands are free. So in order to carry a
Okay.
spear, climb a tree, or swipe your credit card, of course, in order to you have to have your hands free, completely free. So you need some form of backpack to in order to hold something. So that is why his backpack. It seems probably that humans has been carrying objects on their backs for almost as long as they have been walking in two legs. And probably our ancestor may have got idea from watching animals carry their young, or probably they may have discovered that much heavier objects can be borne on the back that carry in the arms. So that's why the word backpack is widely accepted in the understood English language. So it's recommended to use this term. And according to the history, by the way, the first to use the word backpack were the Germans at the end of the 29th century, I remember. So it is necessary to understand and learn more about words etymology to know where the word come from, as you said. It's very interesting. And I would like to mention, I want to ask you, what can you say about these, Mr. Miguel?
That was and that was very interesting actually. I think that this one is something that we ignore because when we are learning a new language, basically we take it for granted. This is the word and that's it. That's what we learn. So regarding this word, which is makeup, uh, join and makeup, space between them. Um, this one is a word that can be used in both ways, as we realized before. We have makeup, uh, join, or I'm sorry, space between as a verb, and makeup join as a noun. So the first one is referring to an action, and the other one is like the object that you use to make up to do the action. So, as we mentioned before, this one can be used based on the context of the conversation or the topic. And it's very weird to find a word with a lot of meanings, actually. This expression can be used for every single context, basically. And based on the etymology, this word was created in the theaters, actually, where actors need to put together their look, including the costuming, the hair, and the facial appearance. So that is the way that we related this word to the cosmetic things because it was created in the theaters movement. As an example of the different contexts of this word, we have the expression "make up your mind." I don't know if you have you ever heard
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
but as you may know, the meaning of this expression is not related with the with the cosmetic context. This one refers to take an important decision. So basically, this word can be used to generate expressions that pull, put all together, basically. When we said make up your mind, we are trying to say, you know what? Take a decision, put all your ideas together to get what. So it's very interesting and I think that this specific example is the best way to understand the importance of the word's terminology and the etymology to make sure that we can use the words in the right context and situations. So that's what I have to say about it, Hugo.
Okay, thank you very much. I think this was a very interesting topic just because probably we need more time to talk about this. Just to conclude, I would like to mention, Miguel, that word formation actually is like an strategy, and this strategy can be very, very beneficial to the student vocabulary development because knowing some common prefixes and suffixes, let's say base word or root words like etymology, this can help the student to learn the meaning of many, many, many words. So the sense of curiosity in the student toward the word part of segment is very, very important. However, how to activate this sense of curiosity is more challenging, and this will be our work as a future English teacher, of course. So the word formation strategy could affect on vocabulary learning. I would say as a conclusion that this is a very essential and very beneficial strategies that we as a future English teacher can, we say, must use. You know, that's exactly what I want to say in order to conclude. I don't know if you want to add more.
Yes, actually, I agree with the conclusion. But I would like to add that this curiosity can be as a human beings.
Yeah.
This one is part of the a huge language, which is English, and a changing language. Because I don't know if you know this expression, Google it or FedEx it, and those words were created due to the invention of the internet. Basically, Google it is to look something in Google, and FedEx refers to the action to send it to deliver a package, basically. And I don't know, 20 years ago, these words didn't exist because in that moment, internet or delivered the package were not a regular action. So I think that this specific topic that we disclosed before can be the best example that this one is a huge language and every single day, every invention can be a part of this great language. So I think that's that's all that I have to add regarding this conclusion, Hugo. Very
Okay.
happy I was able to express myself and share this opinion with you. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much. And actually, I didn't know the word Google it. I gotta Google it now.
Yeah, yes, actually, that is something that I learned from my job when I got
Okay.
some calls and I remember that I asked for an address, and
Yeah.
the customer told me, "You know what? I don't know it. Let me Google it." And I was like, "Google it? Okay, that's a new word." So yes, it's up to the context, the daily routine,
Yeah.
the way that the new words come. So thanks for that, Hugo.
Okay, thank you very much. It was my pleasure to discuss this amazing topic with you, Miguel. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Please keep saying.
Okay,